Greetings and welcome once again to another exciting episode of What's in the Box with Toybox. That's me, America's favorite cartoon witch. Now, tonight we have a very special episode where I am going to provide a little bit of a historical record of the 2023 National Puppetry Festival, which I did attend just a couple weeks ago. Now, it is my intention that this show will be there for posterity so that we can all look back and remember the things that happened, because there were so many things that happened. A puppet festival can be quite overwhelming, intense, and just loaded with fun and excitement. Now, I have to tell you all that going to these puppet festivals is literally the best thing that I do in my entire life. It is so much fun. It is so enriching, enlightening, entertaining, and wonderful. These people have become like my extended family, and I look forward to seeing them year after year at all of these events. Now, also, I think it's important to note that you could join us. Anyone can go to a puppet festival, and what's nice about the festival is that everything is included. So you just pay your money. That's the hard part. The rest of it becomes easier. You pay your money, and then we sort of usually take over a university in the summertime, and you can stay in the dormitories. So you have a room, we have the cafeteria, we eat the food, we have our classes during the day, and then we see tons and tons of different types of puppetry performances, sometimes from all over the world, at the festival. Now, this year, our festival was hosted at the University of Maryland, which, according to myself and many others there, was probably the best cafeteria that we've ever had. It was massive. It had all sorts of food from all over, and fresh food, salad bars, just a massive pile of avocado you could eat every day for every meal. It was fantastic. Everyone said this is the best cafeteria we've ever had. So keep that in mind. You get food, tons of fun. This year, it was at University of Maryland. Now, if you did not know, the University of Maryland was the school attended by Jim Henson. And so there is this beautiful memorial statue there that you can sit and take a photo with Jim and Kermit. And it was there at the University of Maryland that he also met his wife, Jane. So it is a historical place, extremely relevant to our history as puppeteers, and one of our most beloved mentors in the art of puppetry. So I believe that might be why it was chosen as the campus. So, moving right along, we were at the University of Maryland. It was in the middle of a heat wave, so that was a little bit of a setback. Probably the worst part of the festival was just going outside, and it was hot everywhere. We were on tour, and this was the first leg of our tour. Now, I'm going to try and cover as much of the festival as humanly possible. Of course, there are so many things that happen. It is kind of hard to go to them all. But I tried my best, and I always try my best to see every performance that I possibly can at every given moment that there is a performance happening. On the first day, day one, we had an opening party with a puppet show outside. Now, I was supposed to perform as part of the opening party. We did arrive there late. We endeavored to get there as quick as possible. However, we got up at 7 in the morning and started driving, and we didn't get there until it was too late for the opening show. So that opening party had performances by my old dear friend and collaborator, Madison J. Cripps, and Gavin Cummings. I did not see it. I was late, but I am sure it was fantastic. So they did a little puppet show outside in the amphitheater to begin the festival. Then we went and we saw Anika's Elephant. And here is a picture from that show. Quite delightful performance, all ages puppet show about our relationship with the animal world and one little girl's struggle to save an elephant in her community. It was a beautiful show, interesting puppetry. And I should also note, those of you that are in the area, it is going to be playing again at the Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta. So if you weren't able to see us at the festival, but you are close to the Center for Puppetry Arts, you could go and see that special show. And it was indeed special, and I recommend going to check it out. So that was the opening show, and I think it was a great opening show for the festival. It sort of set the theme and scope that we were about to witness for the next week. After that, we had a showing of Handmade Puppet Dreams. Handmade Puppet Dreams is a collection of short films produced by Heather Henson. Heather is Jim's youngest daughter, and she helps independent puppeteers produce short puppet films. Now, for a time, you could see some of these films on Amazon Prime. It may still be up there. I think it is. So if you've never watched Handmade Puppet Dreams and would like to, maybe after this show, you can go to your Amazon Prime account and look it up and watch some of those movies. Many of them are made by very good friends of mine, so I recommend that program. It exemplifies excellence in the field of short puppet films. So check out Handmade Puppet Dreams. Now, I did miss the opening party, but I still had to perform at the opening of the festival because it was important for all my friends and fans to see me and for me to be present. So we did a secret late night show where I myself performed upstairs in one of the hidden rooms for a good little crowd. There was a lot of people there, and a lot of people had lots of fun with that. So then I performed right in between the Handmade Puppet Dreams. Towards the end, there was a secret show of Toybox. And that was the end of day one. So day one, we go a little bit easy because throughout the rest of the week, we go hard, very hard. It is a packed day. So every morning, we get up and we take classes, and you can study all types of different puppetry, from the business of puppetry to film and television puppets, live performance, how to make puppets, how to develop your characters. All aspects of the art form you can come and study and take classes. So again, I want to tell you that if you are a puppeteer yourself, a long-time puppeteer, a beginning puppeteer, or if you're just an enthusiast and you love puppetry, come join the Puppeteers of America and come to a festival. I guarantee you it will be one of the greatest moments of your entire life. It always is for me. I absolutely love it. A memorable experience, and you will make a new family of friends that you will have for the rest of your days. I guarantee you, I promise, amazing people. So come and join us. TJ was a new friend I met this year, and I loved meeting TJ and seeing his show, and hopefully I actually want to hire him for some events. I tried to hire him and he said no. All right. He had a prior commitment, not because he didn't want to do it, but hopefully TJ will get you down to do one of our festivals very soon. All right, so we're on to day two, and like I said, in the morning we do classes, and then we have breakfast, and then we have lunch, and then we start our day seeing puppet shows. The first puppet shows of the day were How to Snag a Sea Monster by What If Puppets. I loved this show. I thought it was excellently crafted and performed. It exemplified a simple show that was also complex and really well done, performed by What If Puppets, formerly Mesner Puppets, performed by Mike Horner. Great performer, very funny, great comedic timing, and just a beautiful set, character design, and everything. It was delightful, yes. And all ages show from What If Puppets. Yes, Kevin, you should come to our festival. All right, so we saw What If Puppets. Also, that afternoon, we had the Charm City Puppet Cabaret. Now, this show was presented by the Black Cherry Puppet Theater and their resident puppeteers. And any of you that follow my long career know that I perform at least once a year down at up at Black Cherry. I love the Black Cherry Puppet Theater, and we actually did go there on our tour. We'll talk more about that on our next program. But they called this show the Charm City Puppet Cabaret, all the resident puppeteers put on by Black Cherry Puppet Theater. So if you're in that area, this piece here was by Dirk Joseph, my absolute favorite of the show, and in fact, one of my favorite pieces of the entire festival. It was charming and delightful. Dirk performed it with his daughter. However, it was also utterly hilarious. It had everyone laughing hysterically. A huge hit, and the next day and throughout the festival, people were talking about Dirk's piece and said, "Oh, did you see that last one in the Charm City show? That one was so good." So, Dirk, if you're watching out there, your show was a massive hit and one of everyone's big favorites of the entire festival. It was so good. Also, the first day, in the first block of shows, we had the Salamagundi Puppet Variety Show by our good friend Gavin Cummings. I did not get a chance to see this one, although I have seen portions of it before. So, sometimes I have to make choices because of time. You can't see everything. I am sure it was hilarious and great, and we love Gavin. And the show, to my recollection, is mostly a hand puppet show. All right. Now, throughout the day, every day, there are puppet films that you can go and see that are curated specifically for the festival by our friend Alex Griffin. And he calls these Real Puppet Film Festival. And we have a little commercial there that we can play of the Real Puppet Film Festival. These happen every day. Let's run the commercial, can we? All right, well, that was absolutely awesome. And if you watch that commercial, you'll notice many of the people that we have featured on our online Puppet Slams were on that in the Real Puppet Film Festival this year. We saw Rasputin's Marionettes, Shadow Circus Creature Theater, Digital Smoke Studios. Lots of friends had Vanessa Valliere we saw in there. Lots of our good friends had puppet films, and those were playing throughout the week. So there were time periods that you could run over and watch some quick puppet films. and I tried to see as many of these programs as I could. They did happen every day. Unfortunately, I only made it to 2 of those showings because there's other things that are happening, and also sometimes you just need to sit down and take a little rest because, friends, if you didn't know, I'm old and I need to take a little break sometimes. So I tried to see as many of the real puppet films as I could, and the ones that I did see, I loved. Those happen every day of the festival. Now, we're getting into the evening on the first day, and our first main stage performance was Marooned by Alex and Olmsted. Now, I have to tell you, friends, when I was looking at the lineup of the entire festival, it is this show that I was most excited to see and was one of the determining factors that made me push the button and pay and go to the festival. I love Alex and Olmsted. Not only are they charming and very sweet and endearing people themselves, but their work, I think, is at the top of the game in contemporary American puppetry. They always produce superlative creations. You have seen them sometimes in some of our Puppet Slams or some of our other online events. And everyone loves Alex and Olmsted. Now, putting together the show, I did find a little video trailer of their performance. So instead of showing a picture, we'll show you their trailer for Marooned. So there we had a little trailer of the performance called Marooned by Alex and Olmsted. It was about an astronaut that was stranded in outer space on an alien world, and it was absolutely perfect. The show got a standing ovation by the festival. Everyone loved it. I should tell you all also that if you do not subscribe to Alex and Olmsted's YouTube channel, check that out. They have a great YouTube channel that is full of not only little puppet films and trailers from some of their live shows, but also very explanatory and helpful puppet making videos where you can learn to build mechanics for puppets and things like that. So subscribe to their channel after you're done watching this. And I should tell you all, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you doing? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, so we'd like to hit that benchmark and maybe reach a larger audience. So we can do that with your help. All you have to do is hit subscribe, Toybox Theater on YouTube, and that is a free and easy way that you can support what we're doing, like this free and easy show that we're giving you tonight. No one's paying me to do this. I'm doing it for you. All right, moving right along. After Marooned, we had our first big late night show, which was the National Puppet Slam. And here is the image for this year's National Puppet Slam. created by our good friend and one-time collaborator, Valerie Meese, who is now in the Czech Republic studying puppetry and having adventures. Remember Valerie from some of our productions in the past, like Billy the Liar. She was the musical and Foley artist on our show Billy the Liar, and we did puppet slams together for many years, and so she created, and I think that she creates it every year, the image of the Slamtopus, I think that's what it's called, and makes the t-shirts for the National Puppet Slam. Now, if you don't know what a puppet slam is, it is an evening of short-form puppetry intended for mature audience, supposed to be late at night. And so the National Puppet Slam is to represent the greatest pieces coming out every year in the nation for short-form puppetry for adults. And also every day of the festival, there were fringe performances, sort of renegade shows, if you will, where people were performing their own pieces about the festival, and you could see some bonus shows. So we'll try and talk about some of those fringe performances as well. I went to as many as I could. On day 2, the fringe performances were by our good friend Puss the Puppet, who did a sample of his 45-minute show in 15 minutes. It was quite fun, and that is also who we were on tour with during this time. And then that was followed by our longtime friend, Sarah Frechette, who did a tribute to the great Albrecht Roser with her Bad Boy marionette. Lots of fun there. So we got to see those at the Puppet Fringe on day 2. And then, after the Puppet Slam, of course, there are people hanging out, and, you know, we only see each other every so often, so there's late night hangouts and stuff like that. I try to go to bed as early as possible. And so we're gonna move right along to day 3 of the festival. Of course, once again, during the day, you go to your classes, you have breakfast, you have lunch, and then after lunch, it's time to see another puppet show. Yes! And on day 3, we had some great daytime selections here. First, we had Fox Fables by Wonder Spark Puppets, based in New York. I loved the puppet. This puppet show, all ages, fun show, sort of like a fable, like an Aesop's fable. The puppets were great, and the manipulation was great. I especially liked the design of the sheepdog. I thought it was quite unique, the way it moved, and its hair sort of flopped around. And another thing that I took away from that show was I absolutely loved the stage design. It looked great, it was practical, it was efficient, and very compactable. It looked like it packed right down into a little, yes, the puppet show packed all down into a little case and was easily travelable. So the stage was also great there. Loved Fox Fables by Wonder Spark in New York. Next we had Lupita's Revenge, which was a shadow puppet show about a luchador with a live band and an automated cranky. It is a great show. We featured it here in Asheville, North Carolina as part of our Asheville Fringe Festival some years ago, and that show is a lot of fun. Also, this one, Quixote by Hombres Fales, which was from Quebec. And this show I absolutely loved. It was very inventive. It featured a lot of physical comedy and clowning, as well as some really cool puppetry, as you can see there. And it was the story of Don Quixote and 2 clowns that were trying to tell it but also sort of antagonizing each other the entire time. It was hilarious and awesome. The show that I was at, they also got a standing ovation to tell you how good it was. And so that was Quixote by Hombres Fales. And also in the first block, we had Give Me a Hand by Lorenzo Ruiz, which is a show designed to have a lot of audience participation with children. Unfortunately, I did not see that one because, you know, there were 4 shows and only 2 time slots, so you can't see them all. However, I did see a piece by Lorenzo, which I will be talking about soon, that I absolutely loved. Then moving along, we had dinner. After dinner, we had the Unima USA Awards. If you don't know, Unima is one of the oldest theater organizations in the world, and it is dedicated to puppetry arts. It is a worldwide organization. You can join Unima and become a member. You get a quarterly periodical and some updates and things like that. Unima had their awards ceremony after dinner, and the Unima Awards are sort of like the biggest award you can get in puppetry. It's sort of like the Oscars of puppetry, and so getting one of those awards is very special, and only the best puppeteers can get one because they have to have a show that's really special. So we had the Unima Awards ceremony after dinner, and then we had a great show called Spinocchio from Gigetto, who is Tarish Pipkins, a good friend of mine for many years. We've done lots of events together, and I would have to say this show was, to put it, I would say badass. It was a badass show, very cool, and a little bit prophetic, a little bit terrifying in some of the content about AI taking over our world. It was a very cool science fiction show by Gigetto and also his family. And so his whole family came to the festival, which was just wonderful, and his 2 sons helped him perform the show. So very lovely people. I love them dearly. I always enjoy seeing them and hanging out with them and spending time together. So we see each other every so often, pretty frequently, probably once a year or once every other year at least. We do lots of festivals. He lives in my region, so we've collaborated several times, and yes, we love Gigetto. He is one of everyone's puppet heroes, and so happy to see this narrative show, Spinocchio, which was sort of a post-apocalyptic robotic nightmare. It was awesome. The lighting was awesome. The puppets, if you've never seen Gigetto's shows before, are one of a kind. He has a way of building puppets that is like no one else I have ever seen, and I see a lot of puppets. And his style is completely his own and very cool. After that, of course, we had, to end it, the best of the Real Puppetry, which was the best of program, a little bit longer in the big theater, so you could see some of those short films. I did attend that one, and everything that I saw, I loved. There was one about language and writing. I really liked that one. And then I loved the one about this sort of mountain that destroyed this corporation. I forget who had made it, but those were the 2 standouts for me that I really loved. But everything was very good in that. Also on day 3, some of the fringe performances, bringing it back around to Lorenzo Ruiz. He did a show called Make or Break, and this show was fantastic. It was sort of a live interpretation of Picasso's Guernica, one of the most interesting shows that I saw at the entire festival, and I actually thought that it should have been on the main stage. It was great, and I hope to see it. This was just a sample of it that he presented in the Puppet Fringe, but there is a longer version which I would love to see. I loved the show. Beautiful aesthetic, wonderfully realized, and very weird, which is what we've come to expect from Laurencio. And we love him, and we love everything that he does over the years. So that was day 3. Moving on to day 4. Day 4, we had, of course, once again, classes in the morning, breakfast and lunch. You go to your classes, whatever you choose to sign up for, and then after lunch, we start seeing more puppet shows. Yes! So on day 4, we had a show called Migrations by Paradox Teatro. It was a little bit sad, but also inspiring. A beautiful show about our issues with the border with Mexico and the United States. And wonderful show. They also, in the performance that I was at, got a standing ovation. It was very interesting performance, a variety of puppetry. They did a thing with a light board and did sand drawings in it that continually morphed and changed throughout the show. Also incorporating some shadow puppetry. Yes, Heidi says she cried. I think you were not alone there. Other people cried during that show. It was quite beautiful, by Paradox Teatro, Migrations. Also in that first block, we had Santa Got Fired by Uncle Nappy. We always love Uncle Nappy. He has been featured in some of our online slams and a longtime friend of mine, and is always hilarious. I did not get a chance to see this particular show because there were other shows that you could see, but I am sure everyone that went to it did not regret it. And I will tell you why I didn't see it in just a little bit. Also, in the morning there, in the afternoon, there was Three Little Pigs by Puppet Art Theater. And, you know, I have known Art for like 20 years, and I have never seen him do a show. So I had to go and see Art's show of Three Little Pigs. Delightful one-person show for all ages, very funny. Some clever usage of technology that apparently had picked up during the pandemic, much like us now, right here, doing these live streams. So that was Three Little Pigs by Puppet Art. Very funny, very fun. Then in the evening, we had an engagement with Terry Fader. Terry Fader, if you didn't know, is one of the winners of America's Got Talent, that big television show that everyone seems to watch and that puppeteers always seem to win. I did not get to go to see Terry Fader's show, unfortunately, because of the next show, which was the Potpourri. And the reason I did not get to see it, because I have been the house and stage manager of the Potpourri since 2013 was when I started stage managing the Potpourri. So this was my 10th year doing all the behind the scenes things to make sure that the show runs smoothly. Now, if you don't know what the Potpourri is, because you've never been to one of our festivals, I will tell you, it is one of my favorite shows. It is a very special thing that you can only see at a Puppeteers of America festival. Now, some people say, oh, Potpourri, it's just like a puppet slam. This isn't true. The Potpourri is sort of an open mic for people to perform puppetry. However, what makes it so magical is that it includes everyone. It is all inclusive, so we have performances from people with special needs. We have performances by children. We have performances by old people, young people, and all at various degrees of their careers. So sometimes it's people that are brand new to puppetry. Sometimes it is old school veterans that, are just superlative in what they're doing. It is always a mixed bag, and it is always one of the most delightful highlights of the entire festival. To me, I love it. And so I do have, because I worked the show, this little sheet that has a list of all of the people who were a part of the potpourri this year, and I'm going to read it because this is something that is never documented, ever, and so we're gonna make a little historical record right now. So first of all, the crew, I myself is listed here as production manager. I was assisted by Benjamin Martin and Matt Sambank doing my stage crew. Steve Wiederman was our musician. Julie Dansby was our celebrity timekeeper. And our host was Mr. Drew Allison from Gray Seal Puppets in Charlotte, North Carolina. So Drew was the host. And here are all of the people that performed in the potpourri. J.C. Weeks, Mark Keeler and Cooper, Zach Snyder, Tyler Jacobs, Steve Wiederman, Heidi Carpenter, Peter Allen, Chris McHugh, Brittany Wilhelm. Brittany is one of the standouts and fan favorites of the potpourri over the years. She also got a standing ovation. Let's see, Danny Housley, Jeff Bragg presented a little bit of puppetry outtakes from a film that he's been working on. Liz Joyce, Mike Horner, Madison J. Cripps, Uncle Nappy, Michelle Finston, Tommy Cannon, and then Joshua Lynch and Benjamin Martin and Nate Puppets. And so also this happened.
Greetings! It is I, the real Toybox, America's favorite Captain Winston Q.
Yo. You're so whack. Everybody knows I'm America's favorite cartoon witch.
Who the fuck are you? I'm the real Toybox. Look at my ragamuffin.
I'm the real Toybox. I smoke cigarettes.
My ragamuffins are for sale.
My cigarettes are not for sale.
Oh. Well, you imposter. It sounds like you're asking for a Toybox off.
All right, let's Toybox off then.
You know the rules. Best growl.
Battle rap to the death.
No! Best growl.
Best scowl.
And best story.
All right
You
then.
start us off with the growl, Mr. Toybox. All right, let's see your scowl then. Oh, that's a pretty good scowl. My turn. All right, I'm gonna tell my story now.
Let's hear your shitty story then.
Shut up. When I was a young boy, I had a dream last night, and it was crazy, I tell you. I had a lot of people in my dream, and there were...
Stop! That's the worst story anybody's ever heard.
Let me hear your story then.
I'm gonna tell you an even better story about my childhood. It was 1985. the Bronx, New York. I was wearing my Adidas. I was a b-boy, breakdancing with the downest crew ever. That's right, but it still didn't fulfill me deep in my heart. So I decided to become a police officer.
Police officer?
Yes.
What
That's
the
right.
hell?
And I trained at the academy for 37 years. Yes, to become the very best undercover Toybox.
No! What?
That's right, son of a bitch.
No! No!
This man is wanted in 37 states.
No! It's not true!
Get your hand
No! No!
Stop
It's
resisting.
not real! Help me!
Stop resisting.
No! No!
That's right.
I'll be back! I'll be back! There'll be more shady stories, I promise! No!
So that happened. Someone was poking a little fun at their favorite cartoon witch, apparently, and there was a little parody and maybe some imposters that showed up on the screen right at the end. And then, of course, the grand finale of the potpourri was our good friend Nate Puppets. So that was a fantastic evening. Now, going back a little bit, the reason that I did not see Uncle Nappy's show earlier in the day was because I knew there would be a secret late night show from Uncle Nappy's Puppets, and there he is. Uncle Nappy did do a secret late night show out on the yard, presenting some of his beloved classics for everyone to see, and it was hilarious and great, as everyone always knows that he is. So it was okay that I missed his show during the day because I saw his show during the night. Yes! And then after that show, I went to bed. Finally, we are on to the 5th day of the festival and the final day. And so was also packed with fun and interesting selections. First up, we had, of course, our classes, our meals. After lunch, we go see puppet shows. There was a Rent Party from Drama of Works, based in New York City. And I really enjoyed this show. It was very charming and lots of fun. It was about two girls trying to make some money by throwing a party to pay their rent, based in 1920s Harlem. And all of the actors in the piece, I thought, were completely adorable and really sold their characters as children. Great piece called Rent Party from Drama of Works. Then also during the day, we had Slice of Crazy Pie by my longtime collaborator, no more, Mr. Madison J. Cripps. There he is. Unfortunately, I did not see that one because I worked with Madison for 5 years straight, and I have seen this show hundreds of times, so I knew it would be an okay thing for me to miss. However, I did encourage people to go and see it if they had not seen it before, because it is always fun and always a little bit weird. Also during the daytime performances, there was a piece called Oma by Sandglass Puppet Theater, and great show. I loved it. Another all ages show, which I think is the first time I've ever seen an all ages show by Sandglass. Usually they're more for mature audiences, so that was a little bit flip of the script there. And it was great. It was about two girls and their relationship with their grandmother. Lots of fun. Hijinks ensued, and there was a pig. Great show, Oma by Sandglass Theater. Really, I have to say, the festival was very well curated. The curator, head of artistic committee was Yolanda Sampson. She did a great job, and her team were wonderful in selecting a diverse palette of puppetry. Some of you may remember at the 2019 Puppet Festival, National Festival, I was the artistic director, so hopefully everyone enjoyed our festival as well. Moving right along, during the day then, there was also a community puppet parade hosted by our good friend Cheryl Capizzuti, and unfortunately I did have to miss that too, but I heard it was lots of fun. They went on a parade and was very colorful and I'm sure lively and delightful. Why did I miss the puppet parade? Because I went to the Puppet Fringe, and boy was I glad that I did. During the Puppet Fringe, during the day, I saw an amazing piece, which I absolutely loved, by Nate Puppets, and it was about the Breakfast Council. Here they are, and great piece. I absolutely loved it. It was the first time I've ever seen Nate do a linear narrative piece that was also all ages, and it was fun and whimsical and imaginative. It went in directions I didn't expect it to go, and I loved it. Nate, if you are watching, I want more shows like this. Fantastic work by Nate Puppets. Maybe you can apply this show to the Asheville Fringe Festival coming up March 17th to the 24th. Look at that. Anyone can apply. All of these puppeteers. We love puppet shows at the Asheville Fringe Festival. Applications are open now. So Nate, bring that Breakfast Club thing down. I want to see it again. I loved it. Also during, now the Fringe programs were sort of all split into two, and also I saw this piece by the Shadow Circus Creature Theater, good friends of ours, and I have to say, hands down the funniest thing I had seen all week. Now there was a lot of competition, a lot of funny things, but this show seriously made me laugh hysterically the entire time, beginning to end. From the Shadow Circus Creature Theater, wonderful and hilarious comedic timing, rapid fire jokes. So glad that I did not miss that. And so I just threw in a little bonus picture here of me giving a little kiss to the Shadow Circus Creature Theater in appreciation of their fantastic show. I had to throw that in because, friends, I loved your piece. It was hilarious and awesome. Also in the Fringe Festival selections during the second program, there was our good friend Sarah Nolan, who did an alternative version of Punch and Judy with Judy as the star, called Judy Punches Back, or I've seen it listed as Judy Saves the Day. Great Punch and Judy show with Judy as the protagonist and hero, which we need more of that. And I appreciated it. It was funny. It was great. Sarah Nolan is always a superstar, and we always love everything that she does. Also, in that program, we saw a piece from Teresa Moeller. I also really enjoyed this piece. It was about some mismatched socks that go on an adventure and try and find their partner socks. It was very funny, and what I thought was really clever about it was normally when you see sock puppets, you put them on your hand. However, her sock puppets were actually marionettes, which I thought was quite clever, and it was a funny show, and I was glad I got to see it. Then, moving right along in the evening, we had the award ceremony for the Puppeteers of America, which is the organization that you can become a part of and learn about these amazing festivals and join us next time. Hopefully, I will be producing a regional festival next summer. We talked about that during the festival, and everyone said, yes, please do it. So if I do, you can come. and you can join us, and we'll have a week of awesomeness together. Everyone can come, anyone can come. It doesn't matter what age or level of experience, or even if you don't even want to do a puppet show, if you just want to come and see puppet shows, you can come to the festival and stay, eat, sleep, drink, be merry. And so we had the awards ceremony for the Puppeteers of America. After that, there was a small symposium called What Happens Next? The Future of Puppetry, where they had a panel of young television puppeteers that work for the Henson Company, Muppets, and Sesame Street, that sort of things. And that was delightful. They were all charming individuals, and I enjoyed listening to what they had to say. And then finally, we came to our last performance of the entire festival, which was called Pack Rat by Concrete Temple Theater. And after watching the show, I understood why it was the grand finale. It was a wonderful show, sort of fantasy, epic fantasy adventure about a pack rat that is disowned by his community and has to go on a journey throughout a dystopian United States and find his utopia, which I don't want to spoil it, but it was a great show. The puppets were excellently built. They were unique. They were sort of made out of different tactile things. I loved the sounds that they made when they moved on the stage. And they looked like they were assembled from junk, which reflected the theme of the pack rat himself. And also the set was very inventive and continually to transform and change throughout the show. Great show called Pack Rat by Concrete Temple Theater. And that was a great show. And that was the big finale of the festival. But wait, it couldn't end there. We had another secret show after the closing party. And I did perform, so I performed at the opening and closing because it was requested by people around the festival. They said, oh, we didn't see you at opening. Can you do something at the closing? So there I am performing a little piece about a different puppet festival for all of our friends and fans and family at the National Puppetry Festival. And that was a big packed evening. Lots of people got to perform. We had like sort of our own secret puppet slam in the lobby of the dormitory. And it was a lot of fun. And it was finally the only night where I could stay up late and talk to people. It was like right at the end, and we all stayed up late and hung out and talked and had fun and caught up and cried and laughed and talked about how we're all going to miss each other until next time. Such a lovely event, whirlwind of things that happened. Each day felt like an entire week in itself because so many things happen. You see so many friends, you make so many new friends. It is just a wonderful time. I cannot stress enough to all of you out there, if you are a puppeteer, it is your job to go to this festival. It's literally your job. You have to go to it. It recharges your batteries, and it's so enriching. And if you've never been, I guarantee your first festival will be one of the most memorable times of your entire life. You will never forget it. You will love it forever. So come and join us next time. Now, this wouldn't be a What's in the Box episode without me sharing with you some treasures that I obtained at the National Puppetry Festival. So I did get a few things here that I want to share with you all. First, if you have been here since the beginning of the show and saw our little opening animation, I got this. Little Toybox puppet. Look at that. That was actually a puppet that we animated in the beginning of the show, and this was built by Heidi Carpenter, who I believe is watching. Heidi is a great friend and puppeteer and advocate and ally to all sorts of people based in Atlanta, Georgia. And someday, Heidi, we will make an episode of our show entirely based on you. So Heidi made this little puppet of Toybox, and look, it's holding a little puppet Toybox. It's got a Toybox with a Toybox. Look at that. So cute. So Heidi made us this little Toybox puppet. We got that at the festival. And then our good friend Carol D'Agostino gave me these little paper puppets of Toybox the Clown. So look at that. See over here. Here he is dancing around. We got these. Now also Carol had Meet the Artist sessions every day of the festival where she talked to different artists about their work. So that was another thing that you could do during the festival if you wanted to go a little bit of a deeper dive and meet some of the artists that made the shows. Carol was interviewing them and talking to them about their work, and she gave me these little cute, and it's not a copy. Each one is original art. So she made 2 of them. I think it was supposed to be like a flippy floppy toy theater, both side. Super cute. All right. Also, let's see what else we got here at the festival. I got a whole stack of little postcards. We got this Madcliff's manual marking machine for books, a bookmark, which I can always use. And on the back, it talks about Sam and Friends, which was the original Jim Henson program on television. I got this little postcard to save the date for the Chicago International Puppetry Festival. And this year it's going to be January 17th through the 28th, 2024. Fun fact about the Chicago International Puppetry Festival, that was actually my very first puppet festival in the year 2000. Was the first festival that I ever went to, was the Chicago International Puppetry Festival. Here we have a postcard from the Jim Henson Foundation and the photography of Richard Termini. Whoops, that's upside down. He had a fantastic exhibit at the festival, and some of his photos, which are not, they're just being disserviced here by looking at the postcard, but it was great, and that we got that there. And then also here we have the Theater Art of Code Canada Puppets. I believe it is a new book coming out that you can find from Charlemagne Press. And I have met Lumen Code several times over the years. He is a master of hand puppets and creates beautiful work. I've always, every time I saw Lumen Code, it was at Puppet Fest Midwest. So there's that. All right, I got some little postcards, and then also I got some things from the Puppetry store. I got this weird little hand puppet pamphlet, mostly because it had some cute pictures in it, and it was only a couple dollars. So it's just a little booklet here on how to make hand puppets. It looks to me like maybe it's from the 70s. Just a cute little floppy book here about hand puppetry and some techniques. And it was a cheap little thing, and I thought it was cute. I liked that it had a clown puppet on the cover, so I was like, oh, I'm a clown. I'll buy that book. Why not? So I got that. I got some other books here. I got this one by our friend Chad Williams, which is 50 hand puppet techniques. And he is from Wonder Spark Puppets, who I talked about, the Fox Fable. So there is the fox. I was told that some of these puppets, most of the puppets in that show were made by Matthew Rene, who many of you will know as a fantastic builder up in Canada. He made a lot of the puppets in that show, and this is about all sorts of, let's find a, techniques that you can do if you're interested in doing hand puppetry. So this is a new book from Chad, and just gives you all sorts of ideas on how to do hand puppetry and some history of hand puppetry.
and whatnot. So it's got a nice layout. I'm sure it's very informative. I have not yet had time to read the book because I've been so busy, but I plan to, and it's brand new. It just came out, so that is a cool thing. And then I also got this Puppetry 101 by Adam Krutinger. Also a new book by our friend Adam here, and this one I actually ran into Adam and got him to sign it for me. And he signed it to Toybox. Puppetry is for everyone. And then he did this cute little drawing of a weird little puppet guy in there. Very cool. I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. If you don't know Adam Krutinger, just look at that name. Look him up. He is a fantastic resource on all sorts of aspects of puppetry, and you can find his YouTube channel. It is an excellent research for building all sorts of different types of puppets. I'm sure many of you out there that are interested in puppetry have come across it before. He also has a podcast on puppetry. Just a great guy, and you can learn a lot from Adam, so go and check that out. Well, friends, we are at the 1 hour mark, and I think that that is our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that we can all look back at this episode and remember all of the wonderful things and fond memories that we had from the 2023 National Puppetry Festival. And we're going to continue talking about our recent tour 1 week from today, where Poos the Puppet and Toybox Theater went on tour. We went to all of these cities, and I'm going to talk about the second leg of our tour and all of the fun adventures we had next week, next Thursday, same time, same channel. Hope to see you then. Subscribe, like, share, send me your money, buy some things from my store. Until next time, goodbye.